Hi musicians, today I've got the Gambler. Now I've done the Gambler on the channel before, and that was when I was using it to teach how to change a key, and it was just a bit of it. So the thing about the Gambler is it's such a great song, but often you'll find it with that key change, which for people that are on that advanced beginner level, it's not as encouraging to be able to do it that way because you've already got enough things you're trying to learn. And so I redid it in my own form, just with one key. So in the recorded version, and most of the ones that you'll find online, there's a key change. In this one that I made the chart for, it is not. So I tried to squeeze everything onto one page because it is a wonderful story. It's just such an interesting story. Thank you, Kenny Rogers. Key of G. So it is a 1-4-5 using the G, which is 1, number 1. It's the key of G. So G is 1, and then the 4 and the 5, which I've talked about a lot of other times, is that it's a what's called an interval or musical steps that we like the combination of the first with the fourth and the fifth. It really doesn't matter as much the key to us when we're listening to it. We don't think about what key it's in. It's just those steps that we like. And so once you understand that, you can relax a little bit more into your knowledge and know that once you learn 3 chords of a key, and then you begin to learn the chords, those same 3 chords of a different key, you're really on your way to learning and being able to play a lot of songs. Okay, and that's why I teach that, well, for a variety of reasons. So there is a bunch of stuff going on in there. I'm in tune. I've got the low G on this instrument, and so we're gonna take our moment, really relax, positioning. So I've got this here, and it's at the 45. I'm going to put this in the advanced beginner section just because I didn't put the chords on the chart because I want to be able to move beyond that. And so I'm hoping that you would know your G chord, your C chord, and your D. So G being the 1, the C is the 4, the D is the 5. So we've checked in, not too tense. We're not squeezing overly when we're forming our chords. So let's go through the chords that you're going to need. You start off with a G. Now I always keep my intro simple, and I've got that 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll see I did 1, 2, 3 because that's a pickup note. You start to sing. That's why the words Anna precede the warm, because that G chord there is landing on the beat of 1. I've embedded the chords into the lyric, which can be a bit tricky to see, but if I put them above, then it just pushed the song. So you might want to go through, I bolded the chords, but it doesn't stand out very well. So you might want to go through and just use a highlighter if that's a struggle for you. So let's do our vocal warm-up. Again, we use the 3 components for doing that, which are relaxed belly, but upright position so your lungs can fill. When your belly is relaxed, the fullness of your lungs can start to learn to be a thing rather than breathing up in the chest. So relax the belly so that the diaphragm is dropped, and then you breathe in and you just begin to practice that, and that benefits you in so many ways. So taking that moment to do that, we're just doing a middle C note, a nice moderate tone that most people find not difficult to eventually learn to do. If you're struggling, put it up to your ear, listen. This is your ear training, la, which benefits you in many ways. Then let's go to the low G, so listening first. And if you don't have the low G on, you can listen to this. Or there's apps where you can have like an app with a piano. So this would be the G note to the left of the C, which is, well, I'm not going to get into explaining where that is located, but you might even find an app that has those notes labeled on the keyboard, and it's very helpful for your voice. So we've done C and G. So let's do between C and then interval down to G. So that's 4 steps descending. La, open note, la, la. And I don't do a lot of this on the videos just because I want you to understand how to do it. And then if you want to do more, just make sure your strings are in tune and just go all over the place. E, la, down to the C, la, I love that, down to the C, la, 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 and then go up, la, 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 and then the A, there's a bird. Okay. So the chords now. So we've got this in position, thumb behind the second fret space. You can do that extension as a practice, curl around, fingers come down and find their spot on the G chord. So you do that a bunch. I think it's a bar for each of them, 2 bars. And then you go to the C, so that's just moving the ring finger down. You're always finding your path. Then you go back to a G, back to a C, so you get practice doing that. You can just do one strum between the chords. And then you gotta get to the D. So the way I'm doing that is walk up and place the other 3 below. If you wanted to bar, you can do that, right? So making sure that one of your fingers is in position before you move on to the to let go of the previous chord. So with C, you've just got 1 note there. With G, you've got 3 on, and then going down to a C, move, then release. And you can't see that when people are playing, when they're teaching you. So you need to really know what's going on so that you can develop those good techniques as well. I put a suggested strum, remember, always at a learning tempo, strumming to match the beat with a down strum, focusing on loose wrist, firm forearm, holding your instrument nice in position so that you feel very solid in both arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, on a warm summer evening, on the train bound to nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness till boredom overtook us and he began to speak. 1, 2, he said, son, I live my life reading people's faces, knowing what their cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice. So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. The night got deathly quiet and his face lost all expression. Said, if you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. And then I would, you got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done. So I was using that down. Let's do the chorus again, nice and slow. So you've got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done. And so I want to do it one more time. This time we're going to count the bars so that you get a sense that 4/4 is always happening. So that you've got to is a bar from the previous. Learn to play it right. 1, 2, 3. You've got to would be the 4th beat, just like the pickup note at the beginning. But so let's go. No. So on the G chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 'em. That's 2 bars, right? C, 2, 3, 1 bar. G, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, there's 2 bars. Now D. 1, 2, 3, you never 1, 2, 3, 4. C for a bar, G for a bar, 2 bars, C, G for 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then an extra bar at the end. The gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep. Every hand's a loser, and the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. Now, I was smiling there because I noticed that I made an error on the chord form, because every should be a G chord. So I'm going to go back and change that, and then I'll upload that to Google Drive. So, and then the last verse, and when he'd finished speaking, he turned back towards the window. One bar crushed out a cigarette. 2 bars there. And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep. Let's do the chorus. Everyone loves the chorus. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done. You can do that chorus a bunch of times if you want. So the other thing that I put on there is that the last verse, you'll see that there's little slashes in the last 2 lines right after the chord. So you could make it more interesting by going, somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep. Right, so just to add musical interest, doing those as whole notes. So again, it was hard to get something to stand out that could be visible. You might want to highlight that just to remind yourself to do that. So a simple chord form, but a bunch of things going on in terms of having a nice tempo and being able to work on it. So down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And with the low G, sometimes you could do that, sort of mimic a guitar strum, pluck, strum. Add a bit more bass to your life is always a good thing. Pluck, strum, get used to plucking. And I'm just using, you could use 1 finger or all of them to do the strum. So pluck, strum, C, G, C, G. I'm getting ready for D. I'm just following the chord form. G, C, G, D. All right, so I've got to make that one little change in that 1, 2, 3, 4th verse, where it should be, because every hand's a winner. Instead of C, I've got C on my chart right now. So I'm going to change that, and then I will upload the video. I hope that you found that helpful. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about that. There is a very patterned structure to that. So if you are interested in learning to memorize and play songs by ear, you might want to write out the number of bars of each of the chords, because it's very repetitive throughout the whole song. Like I think it's 2 there, C, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, and then 2, and 1, 1, 1, 1, and 3. So that pattern, and then if you start to learn the lyrics, you just already know in your head what the chord form is in terms of bars, and start to do it slowly. And then what I do if I want to memorize a song is I just put it out on, like I'll print it and put it somewhere and then go about my day and just keep checking in to see how far into the song I can memorize the lyrics. So it's a really fun activity to do to keep your head focused on, you know, the lyric part of it as well. Okay, I'll leave you with that. I hope that you've enjoyed it. The Gambler in full, no key change. Just staying with G, and yeah, enjoy that. So I will yeah, I'll make that change, upload it, and then if you have found this helpful, please like, share, subscribe to my channel, and pass it along. You know, offer that chart. I'm happy to share that with anybody who might want to, if they're holding groups, or people, you know, take the charts and spread the word, the ukulele word, so that more people can enjoy this wonderful activity with this super awesome instrument. Okay, bye for now.